On today's episode of Path Monk Presents, I've got a very special guest joining with me today from Senders. Please welcome the head of business growth, which is Chrisley Seavey. So for all of you who don't know, Chrisley Seavey is a top-performing, highly motivated young professional who's got years of leadership and supervision and project planning experience and a vast ability to create solutions and solve your problems for all that you need. And Senders is basically focused on email infrastructure, email scaling, email deliverability, and email sendability. And they're trusted by over 60 venture-backed companies with making sure their emails are being sent and delivered and avoiding the spam folder. Chrisley, it's an honor to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining us on Path Monk Presents.
Thank you as well for having me. Truly appreciate it.
Awesome. Yeah, we're lucky to have you here. So for all of our listeners out there, what does Senders, what do you guys do? And what are the problems that you solve for your clients overall? And, who are your clients, from what industry, what's the focus area as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll give a little backstory in terms of what we do. So let's call it in the early 2000s, your big email service providers, Google, AOL, and that particular time, Yahoo, so on and so forth, they weren't as invested in blacklisting domains that were sending out emails. So back in those times, it was, the Wild West. Hey, send a bunch of cold emails, get responses, very low barrier to entry in terms of cost and things of that nature. Is a great way to get your product or service out there without the absorbent costs of, TV ads, commercials, internet ads, whatever the case may be. And in more recent times, due to these email service providers, just getting bigger and needing to make sure that their servers are as safe as possible, they've started blacklisting domains that they deem are a security risk. So many business owners, founders, whatever the case may be, when they're sending cold emails and then they get their domain blocked or something, they think it's because, these service providers don't want us sending cold emails. And that's not really the case. They don't necessarily really care that you're sending cold emails as so much as they care about the security of their servers. So what actually happens is they assume you've been hacked, and that's why your domain gets blacklisted. And the result of your domain getting blacklisted is now your internal emails, maybe emails you're sending to clients, investors, invoices, whatever the case may be. Those start either falling in the spam folders, being marked as phishing, or not getting delivered at all. So I apologize for that long context, but where we come in is we've developed a way in which you can still send these cold emails, and regardless of your volume, if you're sending 1 or 100 million cold emails, your main domain will be safe from being blacklisted. First and foremost, we basically set up that insurance policy so that your domain is safe, first and foremost. From there, we also, through our setup and things of that nature, get you set up so that not only these emails, your domain is safe, but the emails that are being sent are actually landing in prospects' inboxes rather than the spam folder, promotions folder, whatever other folder they may have, and the ability to supercharge the volume. So that, for example, let's say you're trying to find product market fit for maybe a new product or service that you're putting out there, and you want to test it against a bunch of different market segments and industries, you can come to us and do that much faster. Instead of that process taking you, 4 to 6 months to kind of figure out if something is there, if it works, whatever the case may be, we can get that done in half the time, potentially sooner, just due to the sheer volume that you'll be able to send, while those emails are, like I was mentioning before, actually landing in inboxes. So you'll be able to get a good gauge to see if that's working. And that's just one use case that some of our clients have used us for. In regards to your question about kind of which industries we target and things of that nature, I would say cold email, or just email in general, is pretty industry agnostic. So kind of many different industries will kind of use our service. But I would say in recent times, we've been primarily working with those, startups, not necessarily like, hey, just started your company yesterday, but, maybe been around for like a year or so, 6 months, 2 years, maybe even a little bit longer, And then those kind of mid-sized companies who, as I mentioned previously, kind of have their marketing team in place and are just looking to scale their emails. I would say our best customers are people who have probably done cold email and had some relative level of success, but now want to scale those things safely without the fear of, their domain being blacklisted.
Yeah, definitely. I really love how you walked me through the whole process as to, how, emails that are getting sent out, how the system itself, labels them as, a black domain and why that happens. I didn't know that. So I think that's really interesting. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah. It's one of those things that most people don't know until you've been through the situation yourself. And then you're like, oh boy, how do I fix this type of thing?
Yeah, exactly. So in terms of your clients, how do they find you? What is your top client acquisition channel? Are we talking like digital marketing? Are we talking more outbound, inbound, SEO/content?
I would say for us, I mean, we practice what we preach. So we definitely, run our own cold email campaigns as well, which has been a primarily driving force for our business and our company. But outside of that, we do get referrals from the people who have worked with us, as well as, partnerships we've set up with, as you mentioned earlier, different VC funds, different service providers and things of that nature.
All right, sweet. Now we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk about the website. So in your opinion, what are the strengths of the website and what are areas of improvement for the website?
Yeah, I mean, we've recently been doing some website maintenance, if you will. So I would say things where the website could probably improve is maybe being a little bit more clear and kind of direct to the point of, what we do. So there isn't that confusion, if you will, maybe some of that messaging, which, is things that we're actively working on. In terms of, kind of what's good about the site, I think it's just very easy to navigate, mobile friendly, which, obviously helps with SEO and people being able to find us. And in terms of if you know what you're looking for, it's very quick and easy to go from website to next action. There isn't a bunch of clicking or diving in the website to be able to find, hey, how do I get in contact with these people?
Yeah, definitely. And then, seeing where, areas of improvement where you can be able to, fix it in order to be able to generate, more leads, bring more people to the website. So I think it's great where you guys have like an action plan. Okay, we're going to focus on this to be able. Yeah, definitely. All right. So now we're going to talk about you as a leader. So within your current role, what does an average day look like for you? Is it different every day? Do you wear a lot of hats? What does a normal day look like for you?
Yeah, great question. I do wear multiple hats. I would say currently, on top of being, like I say, manager of sorts, I'm also basically leading our sales efforts as well. So my typical day is, running through some sales calls as well as troubleshooting with our client services team in terms of, hey, if there's issues with a particular account or some email infrastructure kind of going there, helping in that aspect. Obviously managing our just growth potential in terms of, hey, what are new services we can add on to our current list of services that we offer? How can we implement those? Looking through potential tools, if need be, that we'll need to invest in to be able to get those tools, as well as our hiring process in terms of evaluating the team and what new positions we may need and so on and so forth. So my typical day definitely ranges. Some days it's more helping the rest of the team out in certain areas. Other days it's a bunch of follow-up emails that I'm sending, and other days it's planning for the next quarter.
Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, you do wear a lot of hats. You're jumping from, different teams, managing, different responsibilities. So to add on to that, is there any plans for the next 6 months of what you guys are going to be, doing within Senders? Are you planning some new verticals in the next 6 months or anything coming down your pipeline?
Yeah, I mean, I would say most certainly. We just recently kind of launched a LinkedIn vertical as well. So basically everything we're doing on the cold email side, also doing on LinkedIn, obviously minus being able to supercharge the volume, as LinkedIn is pretty set on how many emails and things like that you can send on a daily basis. So that's a new exciting vertical that we have going that's been doing well thus far. Outside of that, definitely looking to kind of open up an SEO vertical as well, and potentially paid media.
Sweet. That's awesome. Okay. Your team's got exciting things coming down the pipeline. So that's really cool.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Things are looking up.
All right. That's awesome. I love it. So we're getting close to the end of our interview now, and I'm going to send you some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Sure. Absolutely.
Cool. What is the last book that you read?
Wow. I think it's Iwata, I believe. Ask Iwata, Iwata.
All right, cool. And if there were no boundaries in technology, what would be the one thing that you would want to have fixed in your role as a marketer today?
A very simple way of tracking how people are coming to us, and being able to see, hey, like, it's one thing, for example, if, okay, they came to us from the website, but how did they find the website? Were they searching online and came across us? Did they see a banner ad? Did somebody tell them about us? So on and so forth. So an easy and surefire way to be able to see exactly how people are coming to us.
Okay, super cool. No, yeah, definitely. Especially with, everything that's going on. Who knows, maybe there will be an AI technology soon with us.
Right.
Definitely. So we're at the end of our interview, and I want to thank you so much for joining us on Pathmonk Presents, but I also want to give you the last word. If someone were to forget about everything we've talked about in your interview today, what is one thing you want them to remember about Senders overall?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing to remember, I would say, is that sending cold emails is a great way to get new leads, but be safe about it. It's one of those things, very much like insurance. You think you don't need it, you don't think about it until the situation happens. And although the situation is fixable, it is a time suck of just investment, bandwidth, so on and so forth. So just always remember, sending cold emails is great. Just do it safely.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much. And for all of our listeners out there, check us out next week on Pathmonk Presents.